Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Reiki Lifestyle Podcast. We are here today with LaTanya L.
Hello, how are
Hi,
you?
LaTanya.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, we're so glad to have you. And Colleen as well is here. Hello. All right, so we're going to go ahead and read LaTanya's bio, and then we'll get into your story. We're really excited to be here with LaTanya. Actually, both Colleen and I found her, or however that works. I don't want to say found her, but you know what I mean. We're friends on Instagram, and we will probably talk about that a little bit. Her account is I'm Reiki Now. So on Instagram, it's I am Reiki Now. And you have a great Instagram, LaTanya.
Oh my God, thank you.
Really do.
I'm trying.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So if you don't follow her on Instagram, go follow her because she is fantastic, does great videos, all about Reiki topics. And we just always enjoy seeing you in our feed. So
Thank you. New
all right.
material coming.
What was that? Oh, new.
New,
Yes, we get it. I think everybody gets it. It's, when you have a business and all the things that there are in a business, it is, it's a lot to have, everything, especially like, you said you were writing right now and, but it's okay because you can just binge watch your feed and go back to all of your videos. There's lots and lots of content on there.
Thanks.
All right, so I'll go ahead and read your bio. LaTanya L. Hill, JD, is a Reiki Master Teacher, the creator of KA Reiki, and the sole proprietor of IMREIKINOW, an energy healing company based in Los Angeles. She's also certified in Usui Reiki Ryoho, Holy Fire 3, and Karuna Reiki. Her Reiki handbook, Reiki Vibrations with 33 Meditations and Affirmations, is available online and offers healers practice advice, meditations, and affirmations that may be used professionally and personally. LaTanya is an expert teacher on Insight Timer with Reiki meditations and courses published internationally. She is helping to spread Reiki worldwide. LaTanya has also been featured in multiple magazines and has presented about Reiki on various podcasts. Her latest project is the Reiki House, a residential sanctuary for retreats, healing, and peaceful solitude, which I definitely want to talk about because also something I've seen on Instagram. For more information about the Reiki House or to schedule a session or become a certified healer, go to imreikinow.com. and follow her on Instagram to see video testimonials of Reiki sessions. Well, and I just love on your Instagram how content oriented you are. Content oriented, but you just share so much resources and wisdom and information. And I just love that so much about your Instagram. And, we've never met before, but when we popped on, because we always talk a little bit before we start the recording, I'm like, I just feel like I know you.
Right?
Same here.
I told you both. I've been telling everyone under the sun, even like strangers who don't know me, who just met me, like, and do you know the Benellis? Like, they're so famous and and they're amazing. And they're like the top tier of Reiki teachers and masters. They're like, and they asked me to be on their podcast. And they're like, wow. I said, yeah. I said, I know, right? Like, who is this crazy lady? But I love her. I said, look him up.
Well, it's the opposite for us too. I was totally like, yeah, we're going to have LaTanya. Like I do. I feel like I know you because your Instagram is authentic and personal and also resource oriented, which is kind of how Colleen and I think as well, and like how our practice operates. And I just love that about you and, kind of your message out into the world.
Thank you so much for that, because, sometimes you don't know if people understand what you're doing, right? Because there are so many different accounts where they're just putting certain things and nothing bad about that. They're putting fun stuff, light stuff on there, and just, or if it's in the healing spiritual aspect, they're they're like repeating things that like, I mean, you can easily find online and stuff, and making it like putting it out there for people. But I really think about every little thing that I put out, which is why it doesn't just like happen. Like I can't just sit here all day, obviously, like you said, business, and just do videos constantly and do stuff. I really want to think about what message and am I going to put out. I sit, I meditate, I pray, I Reiki myself, I do all kinds of stuff to like say, okay, I need you to come in and let me know, what do you need me to put out to the world? What message are we saying right now? And what do we want to show people? Because, there are still people who say, oh, I don't really believe in that, or I'm so religious. I don't, I'm a Christian, I'm with God. And I'm like, yeah, that, hey, wait, this is God energy. Let me explain to you. We have this since the day we were born and came into this world. We just forgot because we got caught up in this system. But if we get back into touch with that spiritual side, and that, we are even closer to the creator or God, or whatever you want to say, the energy. I said, because for me, it's all the same. There was years ago when, before Reiki, before all this, I was just like out partying at bars, believe it or not. I was out.
Me too.
And even then I was having conversations about about in the bar drinking, about spirituality and about religion and God, yes, no, maybe. And I had this one lady, I was in Santa Monica at this bar, and one lady, she goes, well, what do you mean it's all one? And I said, for me, like, there is no difference, because for me, it's all energy. And this is, again, before I even knew about Reiki and stuff. I was like, this is all energy. I just feel like these vibrations and energy going on. And like, there is like a being, like there is a conscious being. I said, we say God, we don't know what the name is. We don't know anything until we pass from this realm into the next. I said, but this is what we're working with right now. So, and if that's an okay name, then that's an okay name. And she was just very anti everything. Like, and she said, well, what do you mean? Because I think like there's just, us. And I said, yeah, there's us, but do you ever go in a room and do you feel like something is going on? Do you feel like, wait, this isn't a safe space, or there's something odd? And she goes, well, yeah. I said, okay, well, you're feeling energy. This is the energy you're feeling. And how do you think you're feeling this energy? You're not just feeling it based on being just here. There's something inside you. There's the part of you that's connected to all that energy around you, where it's telling you, this physical form that it's housed in, to be wary, or yes, this is a safe spot, or yes, wait, watch out. Like, it's protecting the house it's in, right? And that's our flesh. And she was just like, well, good luck with all that. I mean, she was like, she said, good luck with all that.
I think so many of us that are in Reiki can relate to that. Like, yeah.
So I still have her in the back of my head every time.
Yeah. A lot of times it's not even said that nicely. So I call it my weirdometer. Like, okay. And people are, at least I explain to them, like, okay, I'm going to go there.
Yes, exactly.
We're going there.
We were, and the funny part is like, well, I'm back in my mind thinking, well, I wasn't even talking to you. I was talking to the guy. Me and the guy were talking about it. You just jumped in our conversation. So now you're just gonna, good luck with that. Just walk off. Okay, fine. Good luck with it too.
You're like, thank you for the blessing.
Yes,
because I have actually had really good luck with that.
That is so, yes, I love that. My grandmother, God rest her soul, taught me a long time ago, when people say stuff like that to you, you just say thank you for your blessing and keep it moving. So I love that you said that. It's almost like my grandmother just spoke through you. I don't hear a lot of people say that out here.
Well, in fact, I really have had good luck with that.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. I will.
Well, go ahead and share your story. We're excited to hear. How did you go from there to where you are now?
Well, it is a tumultuous tale that I will tell you. I started out, like, I grew up around a bunch of healers. I grew up with psychics, healers, and the church. So that's why for me, there's hardly any difference. I grew up in such a spiritual world even in the church, they would have the revivals and people coming in healing. I'm not going to say that all of those people were like real healers, but it's just the idea that I was surrounded by actual healers who, you can go to their house or go to their place of residence and get, honestly, like they give you items and stuff for healing, and they would put hands on you, or they would tell you like you need to take a bath in salt water this amount of times a day and say that prayer, and then refrain from eating certain things. It was a very natural, holistic type, if you think about it, like back in the day before, medicine, the medicine of today came into effect. They were still practicing the old ways. And it worked. I mean, it took a long time. It wasn't like immediate, because obviously it's not congealed into a pill, but a lot of the stuff worked. And I saw it with my eyes, my own eyes, experienced it as a kid growing up in that. So I always had that in me. And at the same time, we were always like in church and getting the Holy Ghost and everything, and people like being sanctified and speaking in tongues. So that was like my core belief system. And it still is, no matter, where I am in this world. So when I came out here, it was like a shock. Like people didn't quite understand the words I was saying, the things I was doing, because it was very spiritual oriented. Anytime something happened to someone, I'm like, oh yeah, those are like bad spirits, or there's this and there's that. And they're just like, girl, what are you talking about? You are so crazy. I'm like, no, it's that energy, it's they're like everything around you. Don't, I was saying earlier, I used to tell people, because like I stayed here. I came here with nothing. I worked my way up.
Just to
I remember
clarify real quick, LaTanya, you are in LA now.
Yes.
Which I know I said in your bio, but just to make sure that and you grew up in Alabama?
Yeah, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yes,
sorry.
I grew up
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, lived out here briefly in Long Beach. Then we moved down to Tuscaloosa, Alabama around like 5th grade. I was 6th grade, and I stayed there until I graduated from college. And me and my sorority sister drove out here, and we drove to San Diego actually. And I stayed with a friend who, like I was saying earlier, was down in Alabama and then left for one semester because we were too conservative for her. And she allowed me to stay with her. And then, and I was living with her, and I had like nothing though. I had no job, I had no prospects. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna come out here to LA and back to California, and I'm gonna see and make my way and see what happens. And, it was hard. Like I said, I lost everything 3 times, and then I had to build back up. But initially going through that phase, being there, I felt like I was out of sync with the city. Like I couldn't, the energy was so strong, and it is so strong here, that I was coming from a little small town where like I knew everyone knew me. Like I said, you couldn't go down the street without coming back and everybody knowing exactly what you did at home. They'd already made the phone call. Well, I saw LaTanya and she was walking here, and she was on so-and-so's tree taking some fruit and this, and they like give all the information. But being out here in a large city, it's so difficult, coming from a small town. And a lot of my friends didn't make it. Like a lot of them went back because they didn't combine their energy with this city's energy. And I kept telling them like, no, it's the energy of the city. And they're just like, we don't know what you're talking about, you stranger, you're like weirdo. Like, listen to what I'm saying. I'm like, telling you, I saw this. You can feel the waves of the energy in this city. And they're just like, no. But for me, I just kept going. I'm like, I have to feel it. So I was like, I would sit, I would meditate, I go out to the ocean, because I was used to nature, being in a small town, like, used to going out in the forest, in the woods. So I'm like, let me find nature out here. And if I can sync with the nature out here, honestly, I can sync with this city. And so that's what happened. I would go to the beach every weekend, and then I would go into the city and stuff, and you could feel the difference in the energy. And then just one day, like everything just like clicked. I just felt like a combination of my energy with the energy around me. And I'm like, okay, it was like a veil like was lifted, and I could feel and I can see how to move in this city, because I thought I was going to have to go back too. I really did. And I was like, okay, now I see how to move in this city. It just almost like it just started speaking to my spirit and helping me to move in this world. And that was it. Like it was in, and everything after that, it was like, oh, you got, everything I wanted and everything I needed started coming to me. Which was the opposite of my friends, because they were so busy fighting. I felt like they were fighting the energy and trying to control it and manipulate it instead of just becoming one with it, really. And that's really what it was. And here it is, I say, like 20 years later, like they were calling me weirdo and everything else and side-eyeing me and what like we're saying, and like, yeah, sure. And then even some of them like wouldn't talk to me anymore. 20 years later, here it is. Everyone's like, oh, do you feel the energy? Do you understand? Like, wow, I mean, I went in, I can go feel like all the waves of vibration. And I'm just like, no, I don't feel the energy. I don't feel the vibration. Like, yeah, of course, I've been saying this for 20 years, 20 years.
You take it one step further. I don't feel it. I am it.
That is my new saying. That is it. I will be saying
I'm Reiki now.
That's right. And it's funny. That's exactly how that name came about, because I feel like I'm Reiki now. Like every part of my life, every part of my being is Reiki. Everything I do is Reiki. I talk about it all the time to the point where it's ad nauseum for people. And they're just, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've been talking to you for 2-3 hours about Reiki. And they're just like, no, it's okay. I know that's what you do.
We relate.
Yeah.
Yes, I have no like filter when it comes to it, because it came to me at a point in my life where I was really, really sick, really ill. I got diagnosed with rheumatic fever over about 10 years ago now. It took a long time for them to figure out what it was, because it's such an old school, condition. It basically is, you can get it through strep throat, right? If your strep throat doesn't heal properly, and it's usually a kid's disease, you don't have an adult catch it, right? Back in the day, people used to pass away from it. It stops your heart completely, and you are physically disabled. Like you aren't able to move, you can't do anything, you're in excruciating pain, you're bedridden, you have no strength. So when you see those movies back in the day where the kid is in the bed and they can't get up and they can't move and they're all pale and sickly, 9 times out of 10, that's how rheumatic fever is and how it was. I didn't know what was happening. I just remember getting strep throat, taking medicine, and the next thing I know, my heart was beating really weird. I couldn't breathe. My body was in pain, inflamed. I felt like someone was taking a knife up and down my spine. It was crazy. My wrists, my ankles, I'd get up out of bed and I was so weak, I would fall to the ground in pain. And I went to every doctor in Cedars-Sinai. I was all over the place, every specialist, nobody could figure it out. And just by I just started again, go into meditation and go into prayer and figuring out, and this is again before Reiki. I met this lady at church, and her sister had similar condition and had went to a doctor in San Diego, and she gave me the information. I went to this doctor, Eastern European doctor, who actually practiced holistic medicine too. Believe it or not, crazy. And he took every test under the sun and basically diagnosed me within a week's time of the blood coming back of rheumatic fever, and started me in treatment immediately. And said that, it had gotten to the point where if it had gone any further undiagnosed, then I wouldn't be here today. Right. So I always credit him with saving my life. Can I say his name? Dr.
Absolutely.
Schickman. Yeah, Dr. Alexander Schickman. I send everybody to him in San Diego whenever they have issues or problems, saying that they can't figure out what it is. I say, okay, first I want you to go to Dr. Schickman. I want you to go to him and see if he can figure it out, because he literally saved my life. And once he put me in treatment, it sort of stabilized my body, but I was still having the pain and everything, right? And I was having 1 week of being normal, and the rest of the month was just pain or pain decreasing. And so I was just like, okay, I have to figure out how to live like this. And what I did was, again, always meditation, prayer. And I woke up the next morning and I heard, you need to learn Reiki. I'm not joking. I tell people, I'm not kidding you. I wasn't hallucinating. I wasn't asleep. I was wide awake. The night before, I was just like, I need help with this pain. I don't want to keep doing this. The treatment was just as painful as the actual condition. And I was like, I know you're there. I'm going to go back to what I know in my childhood. And so when I woke up and I was walking out of the bedroom, it was like someone was standing beside me and said, you need to learn Reiki. And I was like, what is Reiki? I didn't freak out. That was the thing.
Did you know, had you heard of Reiki, or it was like not
Didn't
really?
know what Reiki
Wow.
was. I had no idea. I was like, I literally said out loud, what is Reiki? Because, you know, I mean, like, again, I grew up in a spiritual world. So for me, I didn't freak out that there was this disembodied voice calling my,
Yeah,
you know, so anyone else would be like,
absolutely.
yo, but I
It's
was
just wild that you didn't even know the term, and it,
had
that's
no
so
idea.
cool.
Had no idea. I was like, so I immediately after I was like, what's Reiki? And I just heard my spirit say, you need to do it now. And so I got my laptop out and I was like, Reiki, how do you spell that? And I was just like, so I
Oh
looked
my
it
gosh,
up.
it gives me chills.
Yeah,
It's just
seriously.
Yeah. I looked it up
fantastic.
and then I was like, okay. And I was like, wait a minute, laying on hands. I mean, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, laying on hands, energy. Wait, is this like the revivals at church? And I'm like, wait a minute, people do this for a living? This is real? Like this isn't just in the church system. This is like actual people practice this. It blew my mind. So then I went deep into it and then I was like, okay, well, where am I supposed to go? And I said, okay, well, you guided me. You said Reiki. So now you tell me which one of these, because there's so many, so many. And immediately ICRT popped up on the page. I was just like, what is ICRT? So I'm like, then I go to the website and of course, International Center for Training Reiki, right? I go to the website and I look up everything and I saw Holy Fire 3 and I was like, oh, this is similar to me. This is it like called my name. My spirit was just I don't even know how to explain, like my spirit just went like really happy on the inside and said, this is it, girl, you better sign up now. So I looked for a class and I signed up, and I'm telling you, like I tell everyone else, it was beautifully mapped out and planned for me. That weekend was the only weekend I was available. I signed up immediately, got certified in San Diego and in Orange County, Orange County. I got my certification there. And then I thought, okay, I'm just going to use it to heal myself and that's it. And that's all I care about. And it was when I got the attunements, everyone else, I have to tell you that everyone else was getting beautiful rainbows and lovely colors and like all this beautiful purging of these emotional traumas and stuff. And I felt like excruciating pain. I am not gonna lie, coming down from my head, like it was bursting open to my hands. I was just like, what is going on? And why am I getting pain and everyone else is getting this beautiful situation right here? And I find out like later, it's because like that was all my like trauma. That's how my body and how my spirit was talking to me. Like, we're moving this out because we know you see something like, nice and fluffy. You're just like, okay, nice and fluffy. That's cute. We're going to show you like we're real. Like this energy is real, because there's always, even though like I say other people are cynical, I always say, show me, let me see everything. I don't care if it hurts or whatever, let me see and feel everything. And it did.
Did you still have symptoms from the rheumatic fever when you took? Yeah.
I did. It was pulling all of that out. That's what I found out later. Like, it was like, we're going to take all this pain that you have and we're pulling it out. And this is how it feels when we pull it out. And later on, as it kept going, like it was intense, my cleansing, because it was just excruciating pain that I had throughout my body. A lot of surgeries that I had from a lot of other stuff, it literally just healed everything. Like I had, within 3 months, I was out of treatment. There was no more pain at all. It was like a different person. The world looked differently. People look differently, because when you're living your life in pain, like everything is like, you know, a little dark. There's a gray, you know, everything brightened up. Even my eyes cleared up. Like I had calcium deposits coming out of my eyes. And I went to my doctor. She's like, I've never seen calcium deposits, you know, coming out of anyone's eyes. That's weird. Cause I was like, what are these things? You know, I went to go with the glasses. I'm like, what are these things coming out of my eyes? She goes, let me look. And she goes, oh my God, these are calcium deposits. How did you have I'm like, I don't know. I said, but you know, I practice Reiki now. Yeah, exactly. You're the eye doctor. You
Yeah.
don't. And she had no clue. And I said, you know, I practice Reiki. So, and I've been going through a cleansing. And she's like, what's Reiki? Great opportunity to tell someone what Reiki is. So I went through the whole thing, and she goes, wow, that's amazing. And I said, yeah, I said, I think it's cleaning out my eyes. It's cleaning my, yeah, everything. So I went through a whole like physical transformation. So that's why when people come to me and they say, well, it can't, and it doesn't, I'm like, wait, I'm walking living proof that it will clean out everything. It will help you physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because all of those things changed for me. There were things that I thought I had forgiven from people that I had still held on to and didn't realize. And I could feel, even at night, Reiki going through my body, moving those things up and out, and me feeling that emotion of hate or sadness and hurt. Like, it's just like it put in a little ball, and it just like physically moved it up out of my heart and then like into the universe. And I felt it. I felt the release. And then I would wake up like and think about those things and feel like there's no bad feeling about anyone or anything that happened, nothing but forgiveness and peace and love and tranquility. So it was like a gradual journey for me. And then I thought, wow, I want to share this with people. And I was like, oh, but I don't want to teach. And I don't want to be in all that. That's too much work. That's too much work. But my spirit was like, yes, you are. You're going to start working. And I started working on my friends and coworkers and everything. And then it was such dramatic results. And then I ended up saying, okay, maybe I started dreaming about me having a business. And I kept hearing, I'm Reiki now, I'm Reiki now. And I'm like, will you stop saying that in my head? Will you stop saying it? It's like, no, I'm Reiki now. And next thing I know, I have a business, I'm Reiki now. I have the logo. I did everything. I did the certification. It was just like crazy. And I was like, okay. And it says, okay, now it's time for you to be a master. And I'm like, no, that's a lot of work too. That's a lot of work too. Master's a lot.
I resist.
Yes. I was like fighting it because I was like, I think I'm good right now, because people think like my level is like my skill set and my energy is like, people think I'm a master right now. I don't have to have the title. I'm good. And it's like, no, you need to keep going because there's more. There's more. And I didn't understand, like, I'm thinking like, this is the highest I can go. I had no idea that there is infinite like knowledge and healing power with this energy. So when I went ahead and did the, Holy Fire 3. Again, so lucky to get William Rand before the pandemic. As I was saying, we get in that class and I met a bunch of wonderful, talented healers and made friends, and so happy. Some of us still talk today, we're still like communicating and trying to help each other in this healing world and stuff. And he was just so lovely and like so open to questions, because I am I'm the annoying student to the teacher who has every question under the sun.
Well, you were saying too that you do have kind of that left brain side of you, and you have a law background. So,
yes.
Yeah. So there's that piece of it.
That's right. Yeah. Because it's funny because I believe everything, but I'm always asking you, okay, I need you to show me, and I need you to give me the full effect. I want to see how much you can do, and make it so that there's no way I can doubt it, and then show me how to show someone else so that they can't doubt it.
Yeah.
Which is how I ended up like putting like testimonials and people on my Instagram, because I'm like, well, if I say it, they're gonna be like, yeah, why should we trust you? Who are you? We don't know you. And it's true. So I'll just put random strangers who come in for healing and ask them, hey, can I record you? Can can we record a session? Can you give me a testimonial? And, you know, if you say no, that's fine. And if you change your mind, that's fine. Or I can blur you out. Like one lady wanted to be blurred out because it was such a deep thing for her, but she wanted the world to hear. And so that's what I started doing. And because that's what I heard, like literally I hear it and see it before I do it. And that's how I've been moving ever since with Reiki, because it's shown me that if I can change your life and clear all this pain out of you. And by the way, my test results, or my doctor is just like, he doesn't understand. Like he literally said, I don't understand. He's like, I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I'm your doctor here right now. And if I look at these tests, it says you should be doubled over in pain, but you're here laughing, smiling, we're joking. And I'm the expert here trying to figure out like, why is it this way? And I told him, Doc, it's Reiki. You know, you have an energy healer come to this office and work with people, you know. He goes, yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. And stuff. So, you know, it amazed him, even when, you know, everyone, and I know this is like a little controversial, when some people wanted to get the shot and some people didn't. I had to. And then he said it didn't look like I had it at all. The Reiki had cleared it all out of my system, because for it was a foreign substance, honestly, that it did not want in my body. It was healing my body. So it didn't need anything else to heal. And it literally, like he said, it looks like even though I got it, he said he didn't see anything. He said my numbers were lower than actually a normal person, and I should be like physically ill and sick, but I am like excruciatingly, painstakingly healthy and happy without any pain at all. If my body feels pain, immediately I can feel Reiki go to that spot and start moving it out. I never turn it off. I tell my students and everyone, I said, never turn it off. Keep it on 24/7 so that your body is in a constant state of healing. And that's why I do it, because if I don't, I feel like I'll revert back. If I say, go away, stay away, whatever, I'll revert back to that pain and all that crazy and going in the shots. And I don't want to do that. I love the way it has taken over my life 24/7. I do. I wish it for everybody. They don't even have to practice. I tell people, you don't have to practice. Just use it in your everyday life. Like use it when you go to work, use it with your family, use it with your friends, use it with strangers, use it when you're driving your car, use it with your food. Like use it for every little thing. You will find like doors open, and people have come back and they've said the same thing. They're like, it's so crazy. You're right. Because like I wanted something and I didn't know what I wanted. And then the opportunity just came to me. They're like, it feels like everything is coming to me right now. And I was like, yes, because you're moving in goodness and you're moving with Reiki. And if you let Reiki just guide you, oh my God, you're like golden, just golden.
Well, like you said, it's God. Like, I love that term. It's God energy. You said that in, like maybe the first 3 sentences. Like, I haven't, it's like we all kind of know that, but I haven't heard it in those 2 words before put together. And I'm just like, yes. If you think about even how you're explaining it in 24/7 and that idea of it just, completely running through you all the time, it just makes, I don't know, it just all makes so much sense. I love just how you're kind of talking about it in that way.
Yeah, that's what it's shown me. Like it's shown me so much like love and peace. Like I've had people come at me, and you always have challenges. I always tell people like, you're going to have challenges, right? And honestly, there's always going to be a test where when you're ready to move up to the next level in vibration, where all your offerings are on that table. Because as I think of it as like a tree, and then each little branch has like these wonderful gifts for you as you climb. So, or you can think of it as like multiple tables and rooms that you have to go to, and in each one there's a gift for you. But in order to do that, you have to show that you are ready to receive, because it's an amazing gift that's on that table or in that tree. And so you're going to get like there's always going to be like a little test and challenge of what, are you still feeling this way, or will you revert? And if you continue with the goodness and Reiki and that light, that door and that window and everything, and that tree and that table, everything is like open for you. And of course, everything starts coming and flowing because you're moving with the energy the way you should. you're not fighting it and moving against it or anything, because that's not what it's meant for, right? And so and everyone said they're like, yeah, I had a test. Like, okay, so when I'll speak for me personally, right? um I, in my area, it's high demographic of one area, less of me, and I'll keep it that way, right? I don't want to put anyone on blast. So, one person, one of my neighbors, like really like went at me for no reason. I was like coming from groceries, and he called me the N-word and called me a liar. I don't talk to this person. I don't know this person, but it's just the fact that they don't want me here, right? Certain people, not everyone. And at that time, I was still in transition with my Reiki and stuff, and I was in between. I just gotten certified as a Holy Fire 3, a master teacher, and I felt the energy come over me. And remember, I grew up down south with real, KKK in my school, and my friends, families were like, historically KKK. So I was just like, huh. And the energy that came over me, I felt nothing but love for this person. I couldn't believe it. I was just like, wow, I saw like two different people, like in his yard, 2 yards away. I saw two different people standing there. I saw him as this hurt, injured little boy who was fighting for something and wanting something that was out of grasp. And I saw this like entity that was just like, she represents what you want and what you need. Get her, pull her down. In just a matter of seconds, that's what vision that came to me. And I just felt love for that little kid. And I was like, that's okay. I said, I already knew that's what you were saying. I said, and that's fine. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never talked to you. And, and he goes, they say Black lives matter. Black lives don't matter. I said, that's okay. It's okay. I said, because my judgment and it doesn't come from you. It's above. And I said, you have a great day and be blessed. And I kept doing what I was doing. And this little girl came over and was like, I'm so sorry to happen to you. I told him that's not right. And this and that, and a little teenager. Right. And I was like, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. I'm calming her down because she's more upset than I am. And I was just like, it's okay. It's okay. And she's like, no, it's not right. It's not right. He shouldn't say that. I told him. And I was like, no, sweetie, don't take this on. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. And that was it. And then after that, like, it's weird, but this whole different type of energy came on this cul-de-sac where it was like very peaceful for days after that. And the weird part is like, also after that, there was more of me on this cul-de-sac that I've never seen ever before appear than any others. Like they were renting out a house. And I was like, oh my God. And the universe is like, I felt that like the universe is saying, you're not alone. We're always with you. I'll bring your people here so you can see you're not alone. And that guy like settled down a lot when he saw a bunch of males who looked like me enjoying themselves, very wealthy. They're not, they're like, you could tell these are well-to-do kind of young men and stuff. And he settled down and everything, and well behaved, right? Because a lot of people sometimes get a little rowdy in these Airbnbs over here, but well, like very well behaved and whatever. And the beautiful part is like, after that, like I had so many people come to me that next week as clients looking for healing, dealing with the same situation where people were coming at them because they prejudged them based on their gender, their race, their religion. It was just like, oh, you were seeing if I was ready to take this on. Am I going to revert back to that little childhood down south, that kid who grew up in a, being called crazy things at times and have hurt feelings and feel negative, whereas I didn't. I just felt love for this person. And then it helped me to move those people out of that negative space into what I was feeling. And that's what I tell people, like, your test is ready so you can do what it needs you to do to maintain this goodness and keep going. This is what Reiki is showing you. It's not a negative situation. It's a situation, it's an opportunity to move up and become even more in the spirit realm. And that's how I live my life. That's how I move in this world. That's how I think. That's what I believe. That's what I try to instill in others. when I got to Karuna Reiki, I felt like such love. It was, for me, Karuna is an emotional, strategic, very surgeon precision type of energy that like went in and out, like it takes out like all the little tiny negative things that you are like down to the tiny cell
Right.
atom level, right? And I tell people like holy fire is like a strong energy that comes in and it's like, I'm ripping this stuff out, girl, I'm taking it. No, you're not going to have to deal with it. And I'm going to put some peace and love in its place. And then Karuna comes in and says, oh, but there's a little speck of negativity and little darkness. I'm going to pull it out. There's another one. I'm going to pull that one out. And yeah, okay, now you're perfect. Now it's good. Now let's move to another section. And every time something comes at you, I felt like both of them like working on my body. And then like gradually, I felt like I was telling people, you become that symbol. You're walking, like you are Kriya, you are, Shokure, you are that. You don't like, it becomes a part of your body. It automatically is you. And it appears when it's needed. And that's Reiki. That's how it moves for me. I wanted to move for you that way, but you have to really commit. And that's what people don't understand. Also, like you commit to this. You can't just say, oh, I'm gonna do it now and then I'm gonna throw it away and then come back. No, it's your life. It is your life and you move that way. And then from there, like I started like really like feeling like a lot of different type of energy in conjunction. I'm like, what is this energy? What is this coming in? And it was like a very deep, heavy kind of energy, almost like a warrior's armor that was around me. And I was like, what is this? What is going on? What's happening right now? Let's explore this. And then again, I heard that voice that said, this is Ka. And I'm like, what is Ka? I have no idea what you're talking about. And I here we go again, go online and look it up. And I'm like, now how do you spell Ka? What is KA? Oh, okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I mispronounced that earlier. It's
No,
Yeah.
no, it's fine. Cause no one knows it. It's new. Right. And so I was like, let me look this up. And then I realized like Ka, cause I'm very big, like spirit connection, like your spirit talking to my spirit and we're connecting and we're all one. And when I saw it, that's what it was. It was like the spiritual double of the person, is that spiritual entity and that connection between the soul and the earth and everything else. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I've been teaching in class. This is what I've been moving towards and stuff. And I said, let me explore this more and let me use this energy, start using this energy in conjunction with the others. And see if people can feel a difference, right? And they were feeling the difference, and they were like, oh yeah, it was like really deep, heavy energy. And I started getting these visions of my ancestors and people in the past and things that happened. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a spiritual entity. This is a spiritual energy. This is a spiritual Reiki. This is like really that connection between this body, this spirit, and the earth and nature and all of this to combine. Let me start working on this. And that's how Ka Reiki came into effect and is still being perfected. I'm like, it's definitely a Reiki for healers, because of the energy is just really like strong. I feel like only at this moment in time, only healers will be able to understand and handle it, because some of the people who weren't saw like really strong things and they weren't prepared for that type of healing process. But I'm just like, if you are a natural healer and you have a healing background, I'm like, yeah, those are the people I said I want to focus on when it comes to Ka Reiki, at least right now, because I am very much into that spirit realm, to the point where like I took some of them down on my Instagram, but because I was like, okay, this is like maybe too much for people because they're around my house. Like I had opened up and connected with a lot of like spiritual entities walking and coming around the house and healing them, because I wanted to know if it was possible, if Reiki could also heal spiritual beings. And it does.
Like you
It-
mean discarnate spirit?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is very interesting. I was like, let's open up this house to spiritual entities to come in for healing, and for angelic beings to be here for healing too, and to help out. And so there was like all of these like videos I have of these giant orbs and entities like moving in at like during the daytime and night around the house into certain areas that I knew were open, like windows to the other realm, and coming into the house. I could feel them in my to the point where even one came on camera. My guy, he's like, no, I'm like, no. But he saw one on camera. He's like, hey, babe, come here. What is this? What is this? What is this? And I was like, oh yeah, that's a happy spirit. He's like, no. And so he was like, I don't know about all this. So I just like, I sort of shut the house down kind of thing. Also because my spirit said, okay, you're focusing way too much in the spiritual realm. You need to come back into this realm, because this is where you need to do your work, not over there. That's not for you. That's for someone else. But we wanted to show you that this is Reiki is for everything. It's a part of everybody, everything, even those entities that are no longer in the physical form. And because we're all one. And I was just like, wow, this is like a whole nother level of mind blowing. Like, again, like the like the magnanimousness of I think I just made up a word, of Reiki. It's like, it just blew my mind that it covers so much. And that, but it also taught me like everyone has a specific gift that they can use this for, that it's calling to, and that nothing is off the table if you want to walk in that way. Nothing.
And you get to choose as the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I know for myself in that same situation, I put up like business hours. Okay, guys, I have hours. This is when I can do this work. This is when I'm not doing this work. I'm not off on the job. And I always picture it like the Lucy in Peanuts, when she's like, doctor is out, sign is up, doctor's out. Because the other thing that I found with that is that those beings still have spirit guides.
Yeah.
And those guides are like, oh, here's somebody over here that can help you. And they guide you, they guide that being to you. And there's so many, like you say, that you really do have to decide if that's work you're willing to do, want to do. It's not a matter of capability, because of course you're capable. But I definitely had to do the same thing where I was like, here's when I'm on the job, here's when I'm not on the job. And so got my clarity and my boundary. And in addition to that, what level I was willing to go to in that realm as well.
Yeah, because you
Don't be bringing me the big bad scary ones.
That's what started happening. That's what started happening. The big bad ones were like, hey, I'm coming over too. And I was like,
like, I'm putting up some boundaries here.
Yeah.
like, I'm good. Yeah. I was like,
all right,
my department.
I learned. All right, now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, that's too much tumultuousness in this household.
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you. Because, if you touch it, it touches you.
Yeah.
So, I was feeling at first like, oh, these are like gentle, loving, fun spirits. They just want to cross over. They're just having a good time. And then the other ones came in. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe it's time to take a break, shut the house down, and just focus on the flesh, focus on people and animals and plants and nature, and leave those other entities to the experts that are guiding them.
That's their department. And I'm glad you brought that part up, because I think it's important for people that are listening to really realize that is within our choice.
Right.
As a practitioner, to be exactly where, where we choose in our practice, even though Reiki itself has unlimited potential and can do all of these things. As a practitioner, we get to choose, and we're not required or responsible to practice in the areas that are not where we want to be. So, because there's healing that's needed in the kindest, gentlest of realms, as there is, and in the human realm, and in the animal realm, and the nature realm, as there is, the hard stuff. And so all of it is important and all of it's needed. So everybody gets to choose.
Absolutely. I'm thank you. Yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of people, they need to understand, like you said, it's your choice on where you want to go and what you want to do. So choose wisely. Choose wisely.
Yes, that's a good, there's the statement. Bumper sticker, choose wisely.
Choose wisely, because I almost went down a tunnel that I was not supposed to go down, and luckily my spirit is so strong. It was like, let's not, like, you're coming right back where we're guiding you. You're veering off the path. This is the path we have for you. This is the agreement we made. This is your contract you made with us. So you stick with this one and get out of other people's business.
Yeah,
knowing
exactly.
when to, maturity is knowing when to say, okay, this is not for me. Let me move to somewhere else. And then through all of this happening, my goal when I first started, like, I was doing Reiki gatherings, and sometimes I still do when I have time, where I have like a bunch of healers come in and people who are interested in Reiki. It'll be their first time, like, really experiencing it and stuff. We get to talk to each other. We have like, a discussion about a certain topic about Reiki or healing or diet and how to eat and all the stuff. And then we'll move into like a meditation with sound healing. And then we'll go into the actual sessions where people are getting on the tables and getting Reiki and stuff. And so it was like a beautiful thing that was happening from time to time. And so I would also have people who wanted to like be certified. And through all of this, I was like, wow, what if I had a center that was like just for this? Right? Just for this, a place where people can go, because we were like going to people's houses, people were volunteering their houses for us to come in. Beautiful backyards, I must say, I have to say to everyone, full of nature and stuff. And so that's when the Reiki House came into effect. I was like, I have to find a property. I was hoping, like, I was trying to do like a Reiki Oasis center, and where I could buy land and then just have people come in, and have also people who I knew who were like psychologists and psychiatrists come in and do stuff, and who said they would, right? To sort of combine the Western and Eastern, right? Mm-hmm. And it just didn't work out, like with the land at the time. During the pandemic, no one was giving out loans and stuff for that. You would have to do a private loan, and my real estate agent was like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I was like, no, it's going to happen. I was like, I don't know how, but I already saw this. My spirit already told me, I already dreamed it. And I was certifying some people at the time when she was telling me, and I said, okay, let's take a break. And I went into the back and I sat and I just like put my hand on my heart, put on my solar plexus, closed my eyes. I started raking and just asking like, hey, you put this in my mind again. What do you want me to do? How? No one's giving loans. What are we going to do? And then I heard like, you have property right now and there's land. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, but it's not big enough. This is a small property. It's a cul-de-sac. It's tiny. There's no room. And it was like, no, if you have property, you have land. You just need land. And I was like, wait, a house, residential. I can do residential. And because I saw it, I literally saw a bunch of land in a house. And so I called my agent and I said, hey, let's just get a house. And forget buying land. Let's just get a house. There's land with a house. And she goes, I love the way you pivot. I said, well, thank Reiki, because that's what I said. I just meditated and Reiki myself, and that's what it told me. It told me to do that. And again, it's the Reiki. It just cleared the path for everything. I had the right amount of money. I had the right people, the right house in Yucca Valley. Beautiful house that was well taken care of by this couple who had been there for over 20 years, very spiritual couple. At that, we connected like that. The husband ends up, his family had grew up, his mom and dad were from the South, but he grew up in El Segundo. His wife lived in Bull Heights, where I'm like located now, living. She knew the neighborhood. and I was just like, whoa, we had so many similarities. His family was military. He was military. I have a military family. I said, I see you, Reiki. I see what is happening. It was just spot on. Loved it. He took my offer, him and his wife. I didn't have the highest offer. He turned down, like, honestly, like $500,000, because they said, do we go for money or do we go for the person and what we feel, that energy and stuff. And he said, and we chose you because you came in here like light. You were just like a light, and you were so happy, and you were so, you brought such goodness on this property. And that's what we wanted to continue. We wanted that happiness to continue. And I told them, like, I'm gonna have people coming in who are doing Reiki and energy healing. Cause I was like, I saw his Bible and I was like, oh, please don't let him be okay. Let him not be like one of the others. And he was just like, oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Give it some love. Give it some love. So,
Wow.
and yeah. And then it just started. And so me and my guy, we went in, we started renovating, and we just put it on the market on the 31st. And we have people who are renting, and like they can request services, Reiki healing, and he's a chef, so he does like pre-packaged meals and stuff, so they can have like healthy stuff. And we're gonna start doing retreats soon. We're like getting that plan, which is another reason you haven't seen much on Instagram. We're trying to get that ready to go. And then I have like this network of people who are healers, who I've taught and who I know, who are just like, yeah, we're ready to come out. Let us know at any moment in time.
And where is it, LaTanya?
It's in Yucca Valley, which is right before Joshua Tree, near, it's out there in San Bernardino County. So like 10 minutes away from Joshua Tree.
Oh, okay.
And 15, 20 minutes away from Palm Springs area and stuff like that in Morongo Valley. Yeah, it's desert. It's like a very spiritual place out here. And so very like nice upscale little desert neighborhood, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I mean, it's 5.53 acres. The backyard is huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then are people using it almost like an Airbnb, but it's like a spiritual Airbnb to go and be in the area, but have a space that has that. And then if someone wants services, that's in addition to it too. So explain a little bit more exactly what that is.
It's exactly what you said. It's they use it as like an Airbnb on booking.com and all the other sites. And then if they wanted to like come out, be in the area, they can, and explore all the other spiritual things, but they can also request Reiki services. When they book with me, they can request, oh, I want to have like a Reiki session, or I want someone to come out for like yoga, or I can do remote Reiki, or I want like prepared meals, healthy meals and stuff for me and my family to be there. And they can request all of that. And then we'll like come out and we have the sessions and stuff. Or someone says, I want to do a retreat out there. I have some people I want to come out and do like a one-on-one or intensive healing session. So I'm like, okay, fine.
So for people that are kind of, for lack of a better word, kind of like pilgrimage to Joshua Tree, they can go into it with all of this spiritual aspect of it, and have a place to go and do that.
Exactly. And we are the yard, because the yard is so huge, we're like, okay, we can have people like camping out in the backyard. and in safety. And then the backyard view is beautiful mountains and Joshua trees. That's it. And no one can ever build back there because it's all Joshua trees, and it's owned by this one property, like all the way up to the mountain. And it's just gorgeous sight with all these little animals running out there. And you have the rabbits, you have some coyotes. Yeah,
We're used to coyotes.
You're in
right.
the desert. There should be coyotes where you're at.
That's true, right? There should be, and they have a whole family. And then there's like the little road runners and pheasants, so they're all like running and coming in the backyard, and you can just literally sit at the kitchen table or at the window in the house. I have a little dining area, like a sitting area window, and you can just watch nature play in the backyard, or you can be in the backyard. And then because I have a dog, I tell people, yeah, dogs are definitely bring your animal, let them like run free in this backyard and chase all these little rabbits if they think they can catch them.
Right.
Because they won't. My dog has tried.
.com, does it have a name? The property have a name? Or like, how would people find it?
Desert Gold.
Okay. Gold,
Desert,
like GOLD.
yeah, Desert Gold. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I love I had it as the Reiki House, and then and everyone was just like they didn't quite get it. Some of the people. And someone was like, yeah, just put Desert Gold because this is like a golden opportunity in the desert. And I was just like, okay.
broaden the population.
Yes. And
find it. And probably some people find it without even having that goal, but get to have the experience because of the energy of the home.
Exactly. And that's exactly what they said. They said, you need to broaden it because you want to catch people also who don't know and who are surprised. And then I have like my little book, the little home manual and stuff that's pretty much talks about Reiki and energy and everything else. So they read through all of that because I made it a part of my bio, so they have to read it.
Right.
But it's so cool because so many people go there for that, and so many people go there without knowing how to do that. Like they don't. It's not like I'm attracted to this. I'm looking for this kind of thing, but I don't. Where do I start? And it's like you've kind of curated that piece of it for people that they can go and have these experiences that may not know how to do that, or who to contact, who to do all of that piece of it. But that's part of the reason they're attracted to that area, because they know it's a piece of that area.
Exactly. And I thank you. It was, when the Reiki Oasis Center didn't happen, I was like, I can make I can make my, I can do my own, I can do something else, start small and then like move up and keep going. And that's not off the table, by the way. It takes a little longer, like little step, baby steps. And as one friend, soon to be business partner, told me, she said, you've already got the hard part done. And I was like, what? She goes, you have a property just for that. People usually start like without that and move into that. You already have a physical location where you can do all this stuff. We just have to work backwards now. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. She's like, I don't know how you do it. I said, me neither. I said, but I tell you this, Reiki has given me, and I said, Reiki and God has given me like a lot of hours in a day that I didn't know I existed. So time for me, it's not normal time. it's a special time. I told her I have Reiki time, I don't have like man-made time. I have Reiki time where like things get sped up. If once I'm on the path that it sets, it just puts everything in motion that happens really quick. Like within, I think it was less than 2 months, I had the house.
Wow.
Oh, and it was waiting for you, right? It's like the first thing didn't work
and
out.
I think of those people because like when we sold the farm, I cared so much about who was going to be the land caregiver of the farm, and that they were going to be a caregiver of the land. And that is what ended up happening. And so I'm sure that the people that you became the caregiver for were so grateful that you came along.
Yeah.
Because when that matters to you, it's so helpful to know that that's how it was left for people,
Yeah, they were.
and the home itself.
We still, yeah, we like, even I think they bought land, I think in Tennessee, they said, he said, yeah, we bought a house down there, we got a lake in the backyard, and we're just gonna settle in, retire, and just, spend the rest of our days there, close to our kids who moved down south. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And so, but we kept in contact with them until, like, I think that, like, the day they left. I think they're gone now, but we were like constantly in communication, talking with them, me and Tom, that's his name. I was like, Tom, and this happened, that happened. He's like, oh, remember I told you to do this and do that. We felt like we were part of their family. It was just, it really was. I said, this was a universal gift. Everything that I've gotten and has come to me has been a universal gift, because it is not really for me. It's for me to move forward, to help others, and to use it to help others, because that's what it is. It's not really for me. Even my business, everything I get from my business, any money I make goes right back into the business of, right. And trying to figure out ways to get Reiki out there and get more people interested in it and wanting to be healers, or wanting to at least practice it and take sessions, and trying to figure out how can we get this, like, really in more hospitals and elderly centers and schools and everything. And I know, I can't remember the name, but I know in one country, they like already are putting it in the schools. Why can't we have it here? I mean, I have like all these like crazy ideas that aren't crazy, but I even if I'm not the one to implement, I want to sort of help put some seeds somewhere where someone else who may have, it's their gift and that's their, goal and their contract, spiritual contract, to put that in motion. Why not assist and help? So I'm a small little company of one, so hopefully soon to be two. But I have like really big ideas and goals that I think like others can help and implement. And I have like the legal background definitely helps when it comes to these type of things. And having worked for the government for a while, it really helps to know how to implement and get things moving and stuff. And so that's what I like, that part of me, that left part that brings to the table and rationalizes, say, okay, I'm my spirit say, okay, I need this part to take over and handle this and fill out this form and do this, and then we'll clear the way. And that's how it works together, combined.
You're the human on the team, right? You're the, like you said, the flesh, and like there's these systems to operate in that are a reality of our physical world. And so you handle that part. You're that part of the team.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. You're absolutely right. I'm that part of the team, and then everything else like takes over and tells me where to go and what to do. I just make it happen for them. So.
Well, tell us about your book, because I was picturing your book also being in your Reiki house.
Oh my
your
God, yes.
desert gold house.
It is in there. And so this came about because when I first got my, like, was first certified, and I'm that type of, like I said, I'm that type of person, like I want to test and know everything. So everything the teacher said don't do, I did because I wanted to because I wanted to see what Reiki would do, right? I was like, let me see how it would react if I did X, Y, and Z. So she said, you can't have any bad thoughts with Reiki when you're giving healing, or it's going to go off. It's going to shut down. It will not operate in that type of mode and stuff. So I was like, okay. So I was giving someone Reiki, and I started like thinking bad thoughts. I was like, I just thought like words like, oh, I don't like this. Oh, I can't stand this. And I literally felt it stop. I was like, wow, she's right. Let me go back to, and I mean, of course they knew I was practicing. Like they knew it's not like a real client, right? They knew that I was practicing this. I said, come here. I want to see if it really does stop. And it shut down completely. I felt it just go shut down and then start working on me to get rid of those negative thoughts and stuff. And I was like, wow. this is crazy. Okay, what else can it do? And so I was like, oh, she's like, and you can't drink, you can't have alcohol, you can't do anything when you're using Reiki because it won't work and it will be like, it'll dilute and this and that. And I was like, let's try this. And so I said, okay. And my friend's like, are you gonna really? I said, no, I want to see. I need to know this energy 100%, the good, the bad, the ugly. I want to know like what it does because I want to speak with authority to my clients. And so I sat and had a bunch of tequila. I got a little, and I said, okay, come here. Let me see if I can do Reiki on you. I got physically ill. It literally, whoa, it was like a hammer went on me saying, how dare you? And I just got physically ill. I went as the Reiki started, because it was starting to clean me. It didn't even have any effect on the person at all. And I was like, oh, I don't feel good. And they're like, I said, I'm getting a little dizzy. And I said, I feel all this energy rushing through my body and trying to clean out all of the effects of the alcohol. And I was just like, wow, this is some serious energy here. This is like really amazing. And then on the opposite side, I did all the good stuff too. I was like, oh, just keep, an open mind and think of healing thoughts and stuff. And so, yeah, I was like, she said, oh, it'll work on plants. So I was raking my plants in the backyard, seeing how quickly they would grow and if they would respond. And if I could feel the energy and I could feel like energy coming back and forth between me and the plants and the trees. And I'm like, oh, let me Reiki the sky, like she said. I did it and I could like feel stuff. And then the weird part is like after the session with the sun and the sky and everything, my vision was like blue. Everything was coated like someone just put a blue filter on. And I was like, hey, I need you to go outside and I need you to Reiki and, just close your eyes and then open your eyes and see if everything is blue. Is that just me? Or is that just a natural thing or occurrence that happens when you close your eyes and you open them again? And is everything blue outside? And my friend was just like, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. It wasn't blue for me. I was like, oh, okay. She's like, I think something. She's like, you got a different kind of Reiki girl. I was like, no, I said, maybe that's I said, no, maybe that's how it expresses itself for me. So when I was doing this, I was like, people should know about this. I said, as a new healer, this is a very interesting thing for people to know. And so that's how the book came into effect. I was doing I always meditate and everything. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start writing like these experiences down and things that I'm documenting so I can learn the energy. So when people start on this journey, they won't be surprised as I was. They won't have to like do the crazy stuff I did, because here, this is what's going to happen. These are the effects. This is what you should look out for. I noticed that with people giving sessions, like different thoughts and patterns would come up when they felt a certain way. When someone had something wrong with their knee, it was like an emotional thing. It had nothing physically. She was having physical pain in her knee or ankle, but it really was based on the fact that her father had like abandoned the family. And once that she got that out and cleared away, that pain went away. So I was like, okay, so the pain on our bodies are actually sometimes emotional wounds that are like appearing physically. And if we can clear that emotional wound out, then that physical pain goes away. I was like, wow, this is like some deep kind of energy. Like you almost have to be a psychologist or something or psychiatrist, because it will blow your mind if you aren't really like into like this kind of the theory, because it really is a scientific theory, even though people say, oh, there's nothing scientific about it, whatever, but it really kind of is. It's just a different type of science, right? So I was just like loving this, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to start writing this stuff down. And I just started documenting. And next thing I know, I'm like, I'm going to write a little book, just a little handbook where people will know it answers all the questions that I had, that honestly, nobody was really giving me answers to. Whenever I asked a question, they were just like, oh, just meditate and it'll be fine and it'll come to you. And I'm like, that's great. But what if the person doesn't meditate? What if they're not a meditator? What if they're like, I can't stand meditating. I ain't gonna meditate. I don't know how to do it. I can't sit still.
Yeah, visualize.
Yeah.
And don't want to.
Yes.
That's the other piece is
Yeah.
it's not their thing.
Exactly. And I have
Yeah.
met a lot of people like that. And I've met a lot of healers who say, I don't see, I don't visualize, I don't want to, and I don't care to. Okay, that's fine. And I've met, folks who said like, I don't meditate and I won't meditate. My mind always goes elsewhere. And I'm like, that's why they're like, no, I don't want to meditate. I can't sit still. And I said, so I always offer walking meditation for those people, but I'm like, but it's not the same, really,
We call it Reiki on the fly.
Yeah.
On the fly, man, call it in.
Exactly. Exactly. So I was like, let me just put in a book. And that's how it happened. And then because I still want people to learn to meditate, I don't care. I was like, I'm putting in some meditations. I'm kind of like make them say, oh, I guess let me try this meditation anyway. Darn this lady. And I was like, let me give some affirmations, because if you don't want to full on like meditation affirmations, because also a lot of the healers who I was training or who I was working with when I was doing Reiki circles and stuff was like, well, how do you do a meditation or a visualization within your session? And I was like, to me, it was normal. I didn't know that there were people who didn't do that. I thought everybody did them. Again, because I was still new and I hadn't like talked to as many people. And so I was like, oh, well, let me detail this out so they will know exactly how to do it down to, and there's that OCD. If you read the book, it's like, okay, 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to do this. And then I do it step by step. Like, I was like, these people are going to be like, who is this crazy lady who is writing these things step by step? Just give us a meditation and go. But that's the way my mind works. Because I'm thinking, well, what if someone doesn't? I've met so many people say, I don't meditate. I've never meditated. And I don't know how to add it into a session. And unless they see it done, they still want, and you still need to practice it. But if I put it step by step, level by level, you'll get it going. And then after you know it, of course, you just go to the meditation and move on. But that was my way of doing it. And then putting in the affirmations, because those are spiritual affirmations that I like sat, meditated on, and that came to me saying, this is what I want you to write. And so I just wrote after every single meditation and Reiki session with myself, what the affirmation and what came to me spiritually. And I said, that's the book I'm putting out for those people who have just started, or those who have forgotten, who have stopped practicing, and then they need a quick refresher. And that's it. And just hone in exactly what's needed, no extra fluff, because that's the type of person I am.
Yeah.
I bypass. I'm going to be
a lot of people out there that are the same way, that it's really helpful for them having the step by step. That's really fantastic.
How to.
Yeah, that's really, yeah.
Where do they get your book? Is that on your website or is it on Amazon?
It's on Amazon. There's a link on my website, but honestly, it's on Amazon. You can go and grab the book there. It's quite easy.
And just again, it's
Reiki Vibrations.
Yes. Oh, Reiki
33
Vibrations.
Meditations and Affirmations.
She's better than I am at this.
Yeah, I know. I was like, well, we should at least say the name of the book so
That's
people know what
right.
we're talking about. Reiki Vibrations with 33 Meditations and Affirmations by LaTanya L. Hill.
Thank you. Yes.
They can do that too. And of course they can find it on your Instagram. But, I wanted to mention how helpful that is. When I first started in Reiki practices, I did not know how to pray. I had been raised Catholic, and the prayers that we learned were, taught to us. So in churches like the one you described that you were raised in, and if I went to there as a guest and they would go around and pray, and it's like now my turn, I'd be like, I don't know what to say. And I don't know how to do that. So I actually learned that from something similar. Marianne Williamson wrote the book Illuminata, and the same thing, where it had prayers for all these different circumstances. And so I would do that same thing, where I would take the prayer and I would just read it. Because at first I was like, I don't even know how to say it out loud. I'm just going to read it. And so then I would read it, and eventually it became like, well, I might add one sentence in that's mine.
Yes.
Oh, I might add a few sentences in. And then eventually it trained me how to do that. And so I really love the way that you describe what this is for people, because I think there are just so many of us that, I know for myself, I was completely intimidated by that part of it. Like that was even a barrier to start, because I felt like I didn't know what to do. And then when I learned I could use someone else's material and read it, and that was powerful, that then that helped me even get started. The very first ceremony I did, that's how I did it in 2000. I did a burning bowl ceremony for the millennium, and that New Year's, and that's the same thing I did. I just wrote it down and read it, So
Mhm.
I think your book is really timely for people.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I said, someone said, oh, you want to do another one? And I was like, yeah, but let's let this one, let's let this one mail first, like, because the next one is going to be like a higher level one. And where you go even deeper into Reiki and the spiritual part and aspects of it. So I'm like, and I told him, like, I have a lot of writing projects right now, like,
Right?
so,
Endless writing projects.
yeah, like, please don't add anymore. So,
As a content creator,
yes.
how that
So,
works.
yeah, right. Too much. And then, as we were talking about earlier with Insight Timer now,
Oh, that's the next one. I was like, and then tell us about Insight Timer.
yeah, the meditations on there. Now, Insight Timer came about because I'm actually a user of Insight Timer. Before all,
Yes.
I love Insight Timer. I mean, I used it. It was free, and it is free for people, but you can pay obviously the premium. But they have a lot of free material. And so I always used it for my meditations. I used it with music. When I did walking meditations, I turned on my Insight Timer. I love the fact that you could like connect with people all over the world and be friends with, and like send messages and stuff, and all meditate together and feel like that energy going. And so I was like, how do I become an Insight Timer teacher? How do I do this? I feel like my meditations are just as good, if not better, than some of these others. That's right. I
Truth be
said
known, just humble
it.
me.
I was just like, I know I shouldn't
Totally.
have said that, but
You
I
just
already thought it.
acknowledge
So
yourself
it was
and your
there.
gifts and talents.
Yes, I was just like, I was like, I want to put this out there. And then I looked and I didn't see any Reiki meditations, not one. And I was like, all these thousands and thousands, not one Reiki meditation. I'm gonna put some Reiki meditation on here. they're gonna be surprised. I will be the first. And I submitted. I found out how to do it. I went online and how to become a teacher. I submitted my proposal. I recorded everything. They accepted. And again, like, I'm doing all this learning on the fly. Like, I learned how to record, how to clean up the audio, everything. It's all been a learning from scratch for me, because I didn't have the money to hire a professional. So I have to do it. And I have to do it where it looks like a professional did it. So I did. And then I had a client who's a singer, songwriter. So she actually gave me some music, free audio to use for some of the backgrounds. Soraya, I want to say her name, Soraya May. So awesome. And I was just like, wow, thank you, Soraya. And she put it together and then gave me pointers and showed me how to do some stuff and how to clean up some audio and everything and what I should be looking for. And I was like, look at you, Reiki. You are putting the right people in my life to help me out. And next thing you know, like, I get a message from Insight Timer saying we accept this, and first Reiki meditation is like out there. And I'm like, hey, here's a Reiki meditation. Sorry, I was like, hey, here's a Reiki meditation. And I was like so happy. And then after that, I just kept putting more and more on. And then I started seeing other people do Reiki meditation. And I felt like, yeah, this is good. We're out there. We are going to be, people will start understanding that, you know, you can send Reiki this way and that it stays imprinted within this audio and continues to work. There are people who contact me all day, every day saying, I felt your energy. I felt something move. It was like you were in the room with me. And what they don't know is like, I still send Reiki every single day, like to them and to anything and any work that I've done, like I send Reiki out to it all the time, every day. So yeah, I can believe. I'm like, yeah, I know you sent it because you feel it because I sent it every day. But also it's there. It's imprinted within that audio. That energy is continuously moving and moving, just like people you know, frequency. It's the frequency. And that's continuous to go. And so I was just like, wow, I love this. And then I put courses on there because they were just like, you know, you should put some courses, you know, the people at Insight Timer, they're like, you should put courses. And I was like, okay. So I did a few courses, and then like just a few weeks ago, they contacted me saying like, we would like to, you know, ask you to put content on our premium subscribers. You know, we want to be one of the first ones to do it. And I was like, oh, this is great. Because before all my stuff was just for free, you know? So now it's like, oh, okay, this is really good because these people are locked in, have paid, and they're gonna, you know, listen to this content, and that's all they want to do. You know, these are the ones who are diehard like us. And then, so I'm just like, yes, Reiki, yes, Reiki, yes, Reiki. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's get these people in because it still isn't enough. Like I want more Reiki healers and masters to put their stuff on Insight Timer and to submit on Insight Timer, because the more we do it, it's the same as everyone else. Like the more people will know, the more people will be interested, the more people will like, they ask me so many questions like, you know, what do you mean by spirit contract? What do you mean by, how do you visualize? How do you see the colors? Oh, I felt this happen to me. I saw colors. I felt like this energy moving through my body. What does that mean? And you know, it's more opportunity to talk about Reiki. One person sent me an email saying that she was going through physical therapy, and she turns on one of my meditations every single time she's in therapy, and her therapist, her physical therapist, said she's never seen anyone improve as quickly as she has with this lady listening to the meditations as she's going through the physical therapy and doing the meditations integrated within her physical therapy, to the point where she said, my teacher now, my physical therapist now wants to become certified as a Reiki healer and start using it in her practice. Okay, hello.
Nice.
When I read that, I said, can I put that on my Instagram? I said, I don't care if anyone reads it. I need it there because one person reading that will tell someone else and blah, 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 blah. You know, and it's there. And I'm just like, you know, she's like, thank you so much. And da, da, da. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I wanted. I wanted these people, these therapists, these psychiatrists, these doctors, these, you know, these folks to integrate Reiki in their practice. That's like, I'm like, that's the first, and that I know of. How many more? So the more of us who get on these things and do it, then I think the more people will actually put it into practice and stuff like that. I mean, that's one of the goals. I have a lot of goals, but that's
It's just you.
So LaTanya, are you under your name on Insight Timer, or are you under IMREIKINOW? What are you on?
Oh, I'm under my name, LaTanya L. Yeah, they won't let you put the business and stuff.
That makes
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah.
And LaTanya is spelled LaTanya.
Yes.
Yeah. So just
Yes.
for people, because
Hill.
some people are
L,
listening.
Hill.
Yeah, hill. Like go up
Hill.
and down the hill, not hall, but hill.
Yeah. So we have some people that are, you know, a lot of our listeners are audio only. So I want to make sure that they can find you Insight Timer. Yeah.
Yes,
Well, and
yes.
also what Insight Timer is for those that don't know. So it's
Oh,
an
yes.
app. Yeah, go ahead and explain a little bit
Yeah,
about that.
it's a meditation app, and it's for free. You have to download the app, and then you are able to listen to all types of meditations and all types of like songs and frequencies and courses and stuff. The courses you have to pay for, but all the other stuff is pretty much free. And I mean, it's international. You have people all over the world. You can actually like have friends. You can have you do like a meditation each day, and it keeps track of it. And you have these like goals and stuff, and people can email you saying, hey, thanks for meditating with me. And then, and leaving you messages and stuff. I mean, it's a community of meditators. It really is all over the world. And I've had so many, like I said, I've had so many people contact me from Insight Timer who found me online and stuff, and email me like, oh, can you do this and that, and put in requests, like actually like, can you do a meditation for how to lose weight and how to do this, and meditation for overcoming grief and stuff. So I have all those things, and I take note, and I have all those things lined up and ready to go and to record for people and stuff, and to put online, and I still want to put some more free stuff on because I don't want to be exclusive, and also put some stuff on for premium people at the same time. But the more Reiki healers out there.
It's very much like Usui Sensei, where he was like, I just want to spread this in the world. Anybody and everybody, spread it in the world.
Yeah.
Very much that Reiki vibration of
Reiki
let's all
vibration.
just get together and create.
Full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle.
It is very full circle.
With 33 meditations and affirmations.
So also then, do you teach classes and you take clients?
I do. I teach classes. I do it remotely and I do it in person. And yeah, I love it. My classes are very intense because I make people practice. That was one thing. Like, I love that we practice in class, but I'm such a nerd that I wanted to do more. I honestly wanted one-on-one sessions, but it was so many people in the classes. Obviously you can't do it. So I keep my classes small, so that we can do like really like intensive, like healing. You have to like, I have people come in, like strangers, randoms come in and I say, hey, do you want to have a free Reiki session? They're like, what's that? And then again, opportunity to introduce someone to Reiki and stuff, or to reconnect them with Reiki. And I'm like, you come in 15, 20 minutes. I'm training. I want, my student to Reiki you. I want to make sure they don't really know each other. And if they do know each other, that like, there's like, at least it's like someone who hasn't had Reiki from that person and they don't really know anything about it. So it's fresh, it's new. So their reaction is fresh and new. And then I asked them like, can I record you and everything? So yeah, I do the trainings and stuff. And then they have to Reiki me. And that's the key, because we never got to Reiki our teachers. I was just like, because there's so many of us, right? So I was just like, I wanted to Reiki. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to Reiki William Rand so bad. I wanted to like lay him out on the table and Reiki him and see what he had to say. and what I would get from him, like what kind of feelings, because when it's someone who's like so clean, like so, I like to say so pure, the feeling I get is just like bliss, like total bliss and wonderfulness and stuff. And so I was like, I wonder the level of bliss I would get if I Reiki him, but we didn't get a chance. He was like, I don't think any of us even asked really, because we were just so intimidated by him.
Oh, he's so funny because he's such an easy, nice person.
He was, and he is, but it was just like,
yeah, I know what you mean though. I thought that when
you feel like that. You feel like, you feel the blessing on him, you can really feel it and stuff. And I was like, I asked this man so many questions. He's probably like, this lady. But he was so nice. He let me actually the Reiki, the Reiki graph, the Reiki chart that we have in class that he uses. He let me, should I say this? Should I say this online? No, he let me like have it. He let me like keep it. And I was like, he said I can keep it, right? He said I can have it, right? He goes, go ahead. And I was like, yes. I think he felt like I'm pretty sure he felt like this girl is like all 100% Reiki intensive, because I was very serious about like everything. I was just like, and what if this happens, and what if that happens, and can you do this, and he's like, do this, do this, do this, and I was just like feeling like such energy when I was doing my attunements with him. I saw dancing, actually, music and dancing the whole time. It was total opposite of the first time when I was really physically ill, because
Oh,
it had
yeah.
cleaned out everything. So by the time I got to him, it was just like beautiful dancing angels and spiritual light and colors, and it was just frequencies and great. And then make it even better, some guy during our break came out with a guitar and started playing music sitting beside me. And I was just like, universe, I love you. God, thank you. Reiki, yes, you are here with me. And I was humming, singing songs with him during break, and people thought we knew each other.
That's so great.
He ends up, he was like a pilot in town on the layover waiting for his next flight.
Oh, I love that.
So, and he just liked to play guitar, and he said he had an urge to come outside at that moment in time and play guitar. I
Wow.
was just,
Amazing.
I was like, how many signs can you throw at me? How many signs? But yeah, I really wanted to Reiki him that day, but like we didn't get to, but that's fine. It's
Next
okay.
time.
Next time.
Next time.
Next time. I'm gonna catch him in Hawaii.
Yep. Yeah, actually, he and I are doing a 7-day Karuna Reiki class in Hawaii in November at
Really?
his place. Yep, in Hana.
Wow.
In fact, I'm heading to Japan next week. We're teaching on Mount Kurama.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's
starting
amazing.
April 8th. We have both a master class and a Karuna class. So,
I
I say next week, this will post probably while I'm there. So
oh,
I'll be in Japan at the time, but
how beautiful.
LaTanya, this has been such a great conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Oh.
just really excited to connect with you and talk with you, and just so fun to stay in touch and see how it all works and for you. And I love that idea of like, well, just good luck with all that.
Thank
It is just good luck.
you.
It reminds me of Deborah Chapman. She's one of our students, colleagues, and part of our community. And she talks about divine appointment.
Mm.
And you just remind me so much of your whole story is so divinely appointed, like
Oh.
just you being in that right place at the right time, following the guidance, listening to, I mean, how many people here you need to do Reiki and you never even have heard of it before?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fabulous.
Thank you. Yeah. It was, yeah, that was, to this day, I still hear that voice and I laugh and I'm like, wow. Wow. Straight, very direct. Very
Very
direct.
direct.
Well, let's share your website again is I'm Reiki Now. So like I am, like I'm reikinow.com. And your Instagram is I'm Reiki Now as well. And then your insight timer is LaTanya Hill.
Yes.
And then your book is available on Amazon, Reiki Vibrations with 33 meditations and affirmations. And then also the Desert Gold House, right?
Yes.
Desert
Yucca
Gold.
Valley.
And
Yeah.
then that's in Yucca Valley outside of Joshua Tree. And then KA Reiki is your system of Reiki that's still in
Right.
like creation. So
Yes.
you'll be announcing more about that
Yes.
down the road. So
Yes.
We'll do another podcast.
yeah, we'll have to do
Yes.
another podcast.
Please,
We'll
let's
have
do another podcast. That would be so
Yeah.
much fun. You guys are awesome. I love it. Thank you so much for inviting me into your house and your space. It's like a beautiful thing. I can't wait to tell everybody.
Well, we're super excited with you. So just so love it. And just, we're all so passionate about it. And I do believe that energy that Usui Sensei his very first decision when
Mhm.
he received Reiki was to spread it in the world. And I just believe in that, how it comes in, and whether it's for a person just for their personal use, that spreads it in the world, whether you get compelled like we have, because I had the same thing happen. Like, I had no idea that this was the path I was headed on. And Reiki was like, well, I thought if anything, I was going to work on my horse. And the horse did the same thing that happened with you, where he said, no, you really need to go work on people. And so I totally relate to your story, and just thank you so much for sharing it and all that you do in this
Thank
for,
you.
for you and for your people and the animals and the plants and the planet itself. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. And
Heart.
you can reach us at reikilifestyle.com. So, and then our social media is Reiki Lifestyle Official. And then I'm Robyn Benelli Reiki. All
Robyn
right.
Benelli, that faded, Robyn Benelli Reiki.
Robyn.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everybody. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.